I got some big news to share with you guys. The second gen truck is sold. What up guys, welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. We are taking Sexy Silver, the second gen, back out to Gary's house right now to give that back. So we're on our way to drop old Sexy Silver back off with him. And when we get home, we're gonna get Red started up here because it's been a while since I've had her running even. I haven't started the truck up in almost 2 weeks, guys. So we're gonna start her up and let her sit here and idle for a few minutes. So we'll get a nice good cold start on the truck after sitting for 2 weeks. But also we're gonna double check the fuel mileage in Sexy Silver because I need to top off the tank before I return it to Gary. So we'll get to check the fuel mileage in this truck again, see if it compares to the 11 miles per gallon we had the last time. So let's get in the truck, hit the road, and see what we can come up with. Well, it seems that the truck actually is starting to hesitate a little bit when we get up to speed now too. So up around 45, 50 miles per hour, it has this little jolt, this little stutter or jerking feeling to it. So I'm definitely feeling like it is fuel related, injector, something, not getting enough fuel to air ratio mixture going on with this thing. Or the intake plenum gasket is indeed bad and needs to be replaced. I think I'm gonna lean more towards the intake plenum gasket needing to be replaced than anything else at this point. I mean, I guess it might be an injector or something, but honestly, if I really had to put out a guess, I would say that it's most likely the intake plenum gasket is going bad on this and needs to be replaced. And if it was replaced, I would have a almost good feeling that the truck would be back to normal. The other issue that we're experiencing with this 99 Dodge 2500 5.9 Magnum V8 truck is the airbag light is continuously coming on every time you slow down and come to a stop, or if you're making a turn from a stop, the airbag light dings and comes on. Sometimes it goes off immediately, other times it stays on for an extended period of time and then it'll go off. So I'm not quite sure what the deal behind that is or what could cause that. I didn't actually really look into that too much because I was more concerned about the misfire, the miss, the feeling that we're getting when we're stopped and at idle or getting up to speed now around 45, 50 miles an hour after the transmission goes into overdrive, the converter's locked up. We're getting this feeling there, but once you get up past 55 up into like 60 mile an hour range, it's all good again. It goes away. And look at that, I get to wait for the same train now over on the other road at the same set of tracks. Awesome. We are home from dropping Sexy Silver, the second gen, back off to Gary's house, and I got some big news to share with you guys. The second gen truck is sold. That's right, we weren't even 20 minutes from his house. He called me up and said that the guy was in the area, called him, asked if he could pop over right then to look at it, and he had cash on him and gave it to him right there on the spot and bought Sexy Silver, the second gen. So that truck is gonna no longer be with us. I'm glad I was able to make a couple videos with it here over the course of this last week and get some content out of that truck, kind of comparing that one to the red 24 valve. I enjoyed doing that and showing a few of the differences between a gas versus diesel second gen truck, or just gas versus diesel truck in general. Things like the fuel mileage, more specifically to the second gen Dodge trucks, the different setups that you can get with them as far as the steering linkages underneath, different steering linkages for different model years, and then also the Silver second gen having a tow package, to my knowledge, on it, coming with the rear sway bar stabilizer and the underseat storage in the rear. I think that is all part of a towing package, maybe a plow package, something or other. At least I feel like that is what I saw a while ago back online when I was poking around doing some reading on these trucks. But I could be wrong. It might be options that guys ordered with these trucks when they first bought them brand new from the dealership. So I'm not 100% sure on that, so I just say that it's part of the towing package because I'm almost positive that that is what I saw about that back in the day. We did check the fuel mileage on the truck again though. As I got out closer to his house to drop off the truck, I popped into the gas station, filled her up, topped it off, and the fuel mileage came out to 11.5 miles per gallon. So basically staying right on track, 11 and a half miles per gallon. I do think that that truck could get slightly better fuel economy, but it does have that misfire issue happening right now. We're pretty sure that we narrowed the issue down to being the intake plenum. So the intake plenum gasket, I'm pretty positive, is the culprit for that misfire issue that's going on. That oil residue and film that I saw down inside the intake manifold when I was peering down through the throttle body is probably a good telltale sign that it's starting to leak. If I were to remove the throttle body and shine a light down in there and look more towards the back of the intake manifold, chances are I probably would have seen a small puddle of oil. But that is all going to be fixed by the new owner of the truck. I guess that guy has done these before. He is a Dodge guy, loves the second gens just like all of us, and he wasn't intimidated by the fact that that intake plenum gasket needs to be replaced and said, not a problem, I'll take care of it. The goal is to take the little Hyundai here down the road for a quick drive and see if we can diagnose any issues that it may be having at the moment. Possibly a bad right front wheel bearing or some brake issues, I don't know 100%. That's why we're gonna take it down the road. We're gonna listen, see if we can come up with anything or try and pinpoint a location to look at. And then when we get back, jack up the front end and just give both the wheels a shake to see if they wiggle, to see if we find any loose components up there on either wheel. So for now, let's back her out and take her down the road, shall we? Let her rip, Tater Chip. I'm sure this sucker is, well, she says 140 on the dash and she winds out to 6,500 RPM, so she's gotta be a screamer, baby. Oh yeah, I can already hear a little bit of a noise up there from the right front, it sounds like. Actually, that sounds like the brakes just kind of rubbing or grabbing. Oh yeah, I can hear it. Look at this old second gen, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if the microphone is picking that noise up or not. I'm not feeling any vibrations or anything like that. Well, that's interesting. I'm gonna pull a U-turn real quick, get back to the house, get this thing jacked up, and we're gonna shake both front wheels and see what we can find. Man, can you guys hear that? 60,000 on this old girl. That ain't bad, baby. She's low miles. So can we see anything with this tire? It doesn't appear to be that way. It's hard to see through the steely there, through these little holes. That's the problem with these smaller cars, is they are so tightly put together, not too much room in these wheel wells there. It's really hard to see in there without getting it up in the air on a lift or jacking it up and rolling underneath it. So it looks like we got some drum brakes here in the rear, but it didn't sound like the noise was coming from the rear. That's not to say that it may or may not be coming from the rear. You guys know how noises have a way of radiating through components of the car and making it sound like they're coming from a completely different location. Woo, look at that big double overhead cam 16 valve, boys. The size of that belt on that puppy. You know she's got power when you got a belt that's a ½ inch wide. This old girl definitely has a bad wheel bearing up here on the right front. That is for sure. Check this out. You guys can hear this clunking when I shake it. Up, down. Side to side. That thing is definitely loose, boys. The thing is this car was brought down to the same mechanic that I brought my truck to about a year ago, right down the road. The guy that owns that shop now bought it from the previous owner, who we knew quite well and brought vehicles to have checked out and repaired for many years. But since the new guy has taken it over, he either lacks knowledge in how to diagnose and fix things, or he is just the biggest con artist, scam artist on the face of this earth, because we brought this car down there and he knew about this sound and this issue that we were pretty positive about, and he looked everywhere else and found a whole bunch of other things that were wrong with it that needed to be fixed, and racked up a ginormous bill on the car. And when I brought my truck down, I knew what was wrong with it, sent it down there with the parts, and he neglected to put the parts on, telling me that they were fine. I sent down there U-joints, carrier bearing, and said, throw this stuff in there for me because it'll just be easier for you to do. And he tried to tell me that all that stuff was fine, and lo and behold, when I got my truck back last year, it was still making the same noises and everything. I dropped the drive shaft, did the carrier bearing and the U-joints, and it fixed everything, cleared it all right up. He also dinged up my wheels, taking them on and off the truck, and he just was trying to find anything and everything that he could to replace on my truck just to get a bigger payday out of me. So I already don't think too highly of this asshole down there. He is a big crook scam artist. You can tell when you drive by the shop now by the lack of vehicles that are sitting outside. And when the old owner used to own it, that place was lined with vehicles. There was a 2 to 3 week wait time in order to get your vehicle into this shop to get it repaired by the old owner. Now there's probably a well, you could just drive up in there, tell him you need some work done, and he would gladly take your vehicle in because he is not doing that great a business. You can tell just by driving by. And that's the thing, when you have a small business like that and you're in a small town like we are in, if you are acting the way that this guy acts and doing the things that this guy is doing, word of mouth travels quite quickly, and pretty soon the only customers you're gonna have are your own friends and family. And I wouldn't be surprised if you burn those bridges after a short period of time, because people get sick of that stuff and they don't like being taken advantage of. Now that I'm done ranting and raving about that jerk off down the road, I think what we need to do with the old Hyundai here is definitely get us some wheel bearings, replace that stuff, try to get this thing back into tip-top shape. Like I said, she's got 60,000 miles on her, guys. It is a low mileage car. It runs great, so it is worth every penny to put into this thing and get her back on the road so that she's running strong. And we might honestly end up just driving this for a little bit so that we can dive into the Cummins a little more than I was anticipating and just do a few more things to the truck. As long as we're gonna have things ripped out of it and we're gonna be making repairs on it, we might as well just go all in and do a lot of the things that I wanted to do this spring and summer, and just try to get it all done at once, so that way afterwards we can enjoy the truck, maybe take her out on some road trips to a couple of shows this summer, maybe even meet up with some of you guys at some shows. That would be freaking fantastic. I would love to do that, meet some of you guys and hang out, watch some racing or something like that. So I think that that might be the plan. Get the Hyundai fixed up, drive her for a little while. She's definitely gonna beat the Cummins in fuel mileage, you know that. Gonna cost way less to fill this car up, and definitely beat the truck in fuel mileage. So if we drive her for a few, maybe tear the Cummins apart and go through some things, get her all put back together, and then we'll be able to have fun with the Cummins this summer and really enjoy the hell out of it. That is it for this video though. Just wanted to take the car for a quick test drive, bring you guys along and show you what the hell is going on with this, let you know that we might be driving this here for a little bit just to give the truck a break and go through and fix a few things on the truck so that we can just get it all done at once. So there will be some repair videos coming on this little Hyundai Elantra here in the near future. I know we are primarily a truck channel, but we're gonna start incorporating other things into the channel and the videos, because why not? It's my channel, boys. If you guys take your trucks to shops and mechanics, I hope you guys have a good mechanic that you've known for a while and they don't try to jerk you around or screw you. That is one thing that you definitely need to pay close attention to this day and age. I'm not saying all shops and mechanics are bad, so if anybody out there is a mechanic or a shop owner, do not take that the wrong way. Don't prey on people who don't have the skills to fix their own cars. If you help them and you're honest with them, chances are you'll be ahead of the competition and making more money than the competition. Hit that thumbs up button for me on your way out. If you are new, stopping in for the first time, then hit that subscribe button, join the family, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any of the new stuff that we are going to have coming up with the truck very soon here. And don't forget to check out those links, boys, down in the video description. Tools, parts, AMSOIL. They give you good products, help the channel bring you better content. And there's still a huge sale running at Diesel Auto Power until April 30th. Big tax return sale. Take advantage of that. Get yourself some dope parts for your truck. And I will see you guys soon with another new video. Peace.